Hey folks, here we're going to take a look at a game that is currently seeking funding on Kickstarter. That game is called What the Woof from designer Shivani Sharma. Now, if you like what you see throughout the rest of this preview video, I'm going to encourage you to go to the official Kickstarter project page to find out more information than I could possibly tell you here. To do that, you're going to follow the link in the top corner of your screen, as well as up in the down in the description section underneath this video. Those links will take you to the page. You can find out more information than I could possibly tell you here, and hopefully you will consider backing the project. Now, What the Woof is a competitive card game where you and the other players actually represent dogs in the neighborhood, and you are trying to be the top dog of the neighborhood. And of course, the way that dogs tend to do that is by marking their territory. So you're actually, in gameplay terms, you're going after these territory cards that are worth points at the end of the game. But of course, it's not so simple as just gathering those cards and drawing them. You also have to watch out because the other players are going to be using action cards, and you're going to be using action cards against them and trying to steal their cards, protect your cards, get more cards from the deck, so on and so forth. There's also drop cards that can affect potentially everybody in the game, so you have to be prepared for those. And ultimately, you need to try and maintain control of your hand as much as possible to keep those territory cards and eventually become the top dog of the neighborhood. But before we go any further, let me go ahead and give you a brief look at how the game is played with a prototype copy of the game. So just do note that while this is going to be pretty close to what the final version looks like, of course, as you can tell from the high quality artwork and things like that, there still may be changes in that final version. More things may be added to the game, some things may be changed. So that's why it's very important for you to go to the Kickstarter page to find out exactly how the project progresses. But then in any event, after that, we are going to come back and discuss it further. What the Woof is a competitive card game for 3 to 5 players. You're each a dog trying to be the top dog of the neighborhood by marking and controlling as many territory cards as possible. But this is easier said than done, as the other dogs will be playing action cards to try and trip you up, and random drop cards may show up to mess with everyone. Whoever has the most points from territory cards at the end of the game is the winner. To set up the game, simply shuffle the main deck of cards, removing 2 of the leash cards before you begin if there are 5 players. Deal 5 cards out to each player. This is your hand that you'll keep hidden from the other players. If any of the cards are drop cards, draw again to replace them, then reshuffle those cards back into the deck. Let's go over the cards first before we get to the gameplay. The most important cards in the game are the territory cards. Each one is worth points at the end of the game if you can keep them in hand. Tree trunks are worth 5, garbage cans are worth 3, fire hydrants are worth 2, and poles are worth 1. However, you can also discard 3 pole cards to demand a specific card from another player, and if they have it, they must give it to you. Action cards have powerful effects that can help you during the game, like canceling an action played against you, stealing cards from another player or the discard pile, revealing other players' cards, and so on. But these cards are worth 3 negative points at the end of the game if you accidentally don't get rid of them by then. Drop cards must be played immediately when someone draws one of them from the deck. The Bad Dog card forces you to give 2 of your highest territory cards to a player of your choice. The Belly Rub card forces all players to rub their bellies before they take their turn, and this lasts until the reshuffled card is drawn again from the deck. Anyone who violates the rule must discard a card, and the person who redraws the card must discard a card to remove Belly Rub from the game. And the Challenge card makes every player place down a territory card and reveal them simultaneously. The player or players with the highest value territory leaves it on the table, and then it will be immune until the end of the game and still count for points, as if it were in your hand. The other players will discard the card that they played because they didn't win the challenge. Lastly, there's a special treat card, and if you can hold on to it until the end of the game, it will double all of your points. When everyone has their starting hands, randomly decide who will go first and then begin. Each turn, you take 2 actions. Draw a card from the deck, and then you may play an action card by placing it into the discard pile and performing that action. You may also choose to take the discard 3 poles action in addition to your action card, and the discard 3 poles action cannot be countered by cards like Bark. There is no limit to the amount of cards you can hold in hand, and if you ever have 0 cards at any time, you must draw 2 cards from the deck immediately. Play continues like this until the deck runs out. After that, each player can play 1 more card, and then the game will end. Every player will then add up the points from their territories and subtract the points from action cards that they weren't able to get rid of. Whoever has the most points is the winner of the game. That is What the Woof. Well, I talk a lot about theming on the channel, and I think that it doesn't get more unique and fun and family-friendly than What the Woof, because everyone loves dogs, and the idea of not just like, taking care of a dog, but being a dog, going out into the neighborhood and trying to control your territory. It's a fun idea. And also the fact that there's, as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, there's really high quality artwork to go along with it. Of course, that's a matter of opinion, but there definitely was production value put into the art production of this game as well. So that really brings the theme out to life too. But then when you get into the gameplay, it would have been very simple to just make this a simple, I take this and boom, I hit you with this card, boom, boom, boom. But instead, there's a lot of hand management here. And that term that phrase gets thrown around a lot with any game that involves cards to a significant degree. But that really is the case here, because it's not just that you want to get these point cards. Another game might have been like, okay, you get a territory card, play it down, boom, you've got a card and it's safe forever. Well, that might happen in only one instance in this game with the challenge card. The rest of the time, you have to maintain those territory cards in your hand until the end, and that is a lot easier said than done. And a lot of times, you have to make really hard choices about how, when you, like, for instance, when the challenge card comes up, do you throw down a really powerful card, knowing that it's out there, but knowing that also, if it's not the most powerful card, the tree trunk card, then you might lose it. So maybe you throw out one of your 1 cards instead, knowing that you might lose it, but it's not a big deal. Do you choose to sacrifice 3 points by discarding 3 pull cards because you think one of your opponents might have, for instance, a tree trunk card, or a garbage can card, something like that? And so you've got 1, less cards you have to worry about. But again, you have to be keeping track of what the other players have been playing, what you've seen them take from other players potentially, those types of things. You see someone demand a tree trunk card from someone and they get it, maybe you can do that to them in turn, but maybe they have one of those bark cards that can cancel that effect. So you have to always be worrying, and most importantly, constantly watching what the other players are doing, have done, what they're building towards, what they could do to you, and so on. But of course, I don't want to make it seem like this is the most complicated thing in the world, because of course this game is meant to be accessible to a lot of people, and that's the thing. Because of the theme, because the rules are very straightforward, because the setup is very simple and fast, this can be accessible to a lot of different people, casual gamers, more hardcore gamers who just want something to play quickly, because the game does play quickly as well, who want something to play quickly in between games or at the start or the end of a night of gaming, can definitely find something here. It's just that when I'm explaining the game, for those hardcore gamers, there's enough meat here to sink their teeth into, see more in tune with the dog theme. Because there is strategy at hand with the hand management and how you play your cards and who you choose to target and who and when they're going to target you, and protecting yourself as well. There's more going on here than just a simple take that card game. So if any of that seems like it appeals to you or to someone you know or to your gaming group as a whole, if you like the theme, if you like the gameplay, if you like the high quality artwork, then hey, you don't have to take my word for any of this. You can go to the official Kickstarter project page and find out more information for yourself. You can do that by following the link in the top corner of your screen, as well as down in the description section underneath this video. That is What the Woof from designer Shivani Sharma. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, for supporting all of our sponsors. And take care.